We go track by track with the new Generous Men album, Through the Eyes of a Child. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Book. I Know He Was Going to Make Me Roll My R's. Rikard Rynoson is our guest. This is a Swedish band, and this is an album that moved me. When our son Chase was chopping up the interview, editing the interview for this very piece here, I told him, you got to listen to this band. And he's a drummer, and he's a very serious drummer, and he was very impressed with all the musicianship, especially the drumming, on this album. If you like Journey, if you like the LA sound, if you like prog rock, if you like Toto, I call them, it's like Toto and Journey smashed together, sound like a chainsaw and a hurricane. There's energy to this album, and there's a lot of life to it. And like I said, I'm always saying I'm not going to do track by tracks anymore. Then I'll hear an album and I'll go, I got to do this. And remember, track by track, we make no money on these videos because we're using their music and we let them take the copyright money from YouTube. But they deserve it, and we don't mind. This is a great album. We talk track by track. Through the Eyes of the Child and Generous Men. Holy snapping turtles. What a great sounding, vibrant, alive album that tips its hat to a genre that I love, but is also very current. Tell me about the beginning of this project for you.
Thank you. We're very, very happy with the result. So this band, Generous Men, was founded 2010 basically. 4 members dropped out of a different band and got a new guitarist, and eventually they were still working on their first CD, which was progressive rock, like full-on progressive rock. And so I was a stand-in lead singer because the current lead singer, for reasons unknown, couldn't make it. Like, he couldn't come with the band to gigs and stuff. So I started to perform with them, and they released their first album 2013. And then during this time, I started to really get to know the guys in the band, and they were like, yeah, actually, we want to take you on as the full-time member here. And then Anders and John kind of jokingly said, well, actually, we're working on this song as a tribute to Toto. We want to make a song that sounds like Toto. And of course, this can't be the new Generous Men sound. We're doing progressive rock, right? And then they played it for me and Anton, and we were like, this is so great. Why don't we make this music?
This Moment On is the song that I first heard that made me go, I'd be nuts if I didn't go into, because hey man, you got to start an album with a killer track, and you do.
I know, right?
Incredibly catchy. Tell me about the song.
Yeah, so basically, we want to incorporate the progressive feeling that Generous Men came from, and so From This Moment On became the middle way between the Sarah a lot more Toto-ish rock sound and the progressive sound, right? And Anders was playing around with this synthesizer thing, like a plugin called Nexus or something. So From This Moment On grew from that sound, and it was, I think it also, the song was also finished, not recorded, but finished in 2013.
So tell me why I should leave it open. She's got to fight with me, it's all or nothing.
Well, In Your Eyes is another one of those, it's like a power, like song on love, it brings it down a little bit. Tell me about that one.
It's just had this groove, obviously. Like Anders wrote the keyboard chords and the groove, and just played the drums to it, and you heard, I don't know, I heard Toto, I heard like some Michael Jackson vibes from Thriller, obviously with the Toto crew, and it's like, man, this is gonna be an unabashedly slick love song, and that's it.
love. I listen to these songs, and there's an element of driving, of motion, of like kick-assness. You know, I like a kick-ass power pop song that that touches on rock.
It's a fairly recent song. I think Anders wrote it 2016, 2017 when we really started to record the album, right? So some of the old ideas he had from back in 2013, he kind of picked them up again, and we sat down with that one, and it was like, this is a heartbreak song.
Once in my life, we should just have the sight to get out when it's way past our time. Maybe this is enough. You abandoned my trust when you buried your head in his arms. You are my hope, my love.
Reality starts with some really nice keys. Really like that's one of my favorite songs off the album. What about that one?
Oh, well, Reality, yes. So Reality had been around since I think 2013 too. Like one of the first ones Reality was a song that we just couldn't make the groove fit a melody. Like we were struggling to make it like compatible. Something was missing. Like every idea we came up with, nothing worked. So quite desperately, we reached out to the old singer and said, "Hey, here's a song. How about you try and make something out of it?" And what he gave us, Robin, was the lyrics and the melody, and he made this demo recording, and we're like, "We want this."
Yeah, see, when I heard it, when I was listening to it, I'm going, "Wait a minute, that's not Rikard. What's going on?" And then I looked at the liners, and I realized he was singing it.
Gotta tell me how you feel. It's time we all get real. No matter what it takes, you'll need the truth. If you never see your own way and change to fit the others, then what's the point of being here at all? They're never gonna make you smile. They're never gonna give you time. Nobody's gonna make the problem easier. They're never gonna ease your mind. You're always gonna be behind. And all your sacrifices, they will be.
Love Divine Part 2, another one of my favorites. I like a song that starts small and gets bigger and bigger. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so this was one of the songs that really caught me. Love Divine Part 2, Love Divine Part 1 was on the first record.
That was my next question.
Yeah, so Part 1 is on the first record, yeah. That was the one song I loved singing the most when we performed with their first album. And I remember they had already planned on making a part 2.
Right.
So they said, okay, so here's the melody that Robin wrote, the old singer, right? Put a twist on it. So I did. I put kind of a twist on this, you know. He sang "Slow Down Time" or something. Your thoughts be refined. And I sang with a different rhythm. I sang "Hold On Now." Let your heart be refined in Love Divine. So it kept the heartbreak from the last song and the desperation and the heartbrokenness, and then aimed for letting go of being the victim, letting go of being the heartbroken, and focus more on daring to trust again, daring to love again.
Hold on now. Let your heart be refined. Hold on now. Let your heart be refined. Oh, in love divine.
The old song, Sarah.
Yeah.
One of the best produced songs. It really showed, and it's interesting that it's one of the older songs. There's space in there. I could sense who produced it. By the way, who produced the album? Because
basically, we did it ourselves, but a very good friend of ours, his name is Robin, not the original lead singer, but Robin Onlund, and he is also a musician, and he has a studio and everything. And he's a dear friend, and he's basically the band has been doing other stuff with Robin.
right.
So they're professionally working together, you know. Anders has been very heavily involved in that process and made sure everything was to the letter perfect, basically. Yeah.
If only words could explain when we're together.
the Eyes of a Child, I love a wall of keys. That's a wall. There's a nice wall of keyboards in there. Tell me about that song.
I think it's like the more rocky one that we wanted to make, more of a like an homage to the more progressive rock sound, even though it's not very typical progressive rock. It still has this edge to it, right? And it became a 15/8 beat somehow. It was really funny, but it's just it was just the guys just jammed together and came up with it, and I sat down and I tried to come up with lyrics, and then there was this was 2015, and so there was a crisis in the Syrian refugees coming to, well, fleeing, and the crisis with what was going on in Syria, and just this idea that, like, how do you explain to children what's going on? Like, how do you explain this, and how do you explain when there was this one photo that really gripped everyone in Sweden, photo of this maybe 3-year-old that had washed up from like a 3-year-old boy washed up at a beach in, I think, if I remember correctly, in Greece, right? This horrible picture of this boy that parents had put in a refugee boat, and the boat somehow sank or whatever, and you know, it's like, how do you explain this? How can you look at this through the eyes of a child?
One of a kind. That's a pretty driving tune. Tell me about that one.
Yeah. So Anders, he was very inspired by this AOR sound from this band, and he wanted to write an AOR rock, like, really driving song, right? Also with this kind of, you know, just the chopping off the beat. I think it's 7, isn't it? So 7/8, like. And then I think because we wrote Through the Eyes of a Child, it was like, what would we do with this message? That's at least how I felt about it. Like, what do I do with it? So it just wound up being about this the division between people, like what we believe. You know, it's like, who knows what mysteries unfold? Whether it's the world was made by God or chance aligned. You know, it's like, who can measure it? Who can tell? And just that it's all a matter of faith, and all about finding out for yourself.
One of the prettiest songs on the album, Albertans. Tell me about that one.
So the original Love Divine Part 1, there was this intro that Anton, the keyboardist, wrote. And I was like, dude, we have to make a song out of this intro. She's like, okay, go for it. And I went for it.
I thought it was an instrumental at the beginning. I thought it was an instrumental.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and then the guys were like, this is so great, man. This is the last song of the album. And I was just like, okay, we're gonna do this jazz. We're gonna just put up microphones. We're not even gonna edit it. We're just gonna record it, and that's gonna be it.
Well, what do you think of that? A great prog rock Journey meets Toto. Fantastic world of freaking driving music. God, I love this album. I want to thank Rikard for being our guest. He's a great vocalist. Does an amazing job on this album. He sings every song but one. The original, the last lead singer sings one song. So there'll be links in the description of this video where you can pick up that album. Highly underrated. Hopefully we can get it in the hands of the right people. Remember, links in the description of this video. Also, links in the description for you to buy a t-shirt for Rock History Music, Rock History Book, or Rock History Canada. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Book.